The villagers fled from their homes. It had come. The stories were true. A monster was here. It snuck into the village and kidnapped people in the shadows. Their chewed up remains were found scattered in the woods. Now it was brazen and bold. No longer did the fiend hide. It was going house to house and killing and eating. Adventurers had been called when it was only a rumor. But how much longer before they arrived? Out of desperation, the locals had turned to their one sanctuary, the church. The heavy stone walls were their last salvation. Stone gargoyles looked down as they crossed the threshold. Each person said a small prayer while beneath their gaze. The monster approached. Its claws scraped the cobblestone road. Massive antlers reached for the sky above. The cannibalistic deer advanced on the church. Stones crunched and ground together as the gargoyles above started to move. They spread their wings and made a gurgling noise as they hopped down to face the horror before them. Welcome back to Mythical Phylogeny Adventures. I'm your guide, Jason. An iconic creature of legend is the gargoyle, the stone statues found on churches across Europe. Let's take a look at these living stone creatures. Gargoyles date back centuries, with some claims that they could even be found on ancient Egyptian structures and Greek temples. Yet they reached their current form in Europe. The statues serve two primary purposes, and are much more than decoration. Many serve as counterweights to offer a large structure of stability. The second is what they are better known for. If water builds up at the base of a structure, it can sink into the ground and damage the foundation. Thus, you want to get as much rainwater away from the building if possible. Thus, the gargoyles were created. They serve as an aqueduct to carry water from the roof and pour it out away from the structure. Yet, you didn't come here for a lesson on medieval architecture, but the mythical creature. Well, that dates back to the 7th century. Saint Romanus was said to have slain a dragon known as Gargoyle in Rouen, France. It was stout of body with bat wings and fiery breath. With the help of a condemned man and a crucifix, he was able to best the beast. The body was burnt, but the head remained. So he hung it on the church walls where it warded off other malicious creatures. From there, our new creature sprang up. So, what brought about this change? Well, does anyone here want to imagine what would fall from the severed head of a dragon? Blood. Oh yes, not just the ordinary, mundane human blood, but the primal, innately magical blood of a dragon. That could serve as a powerful catalyst for so many spells, whether dry or still wet. Place that on holy ground and a constant stream of prayers and divine blessings, and it sounds like the perfect formula to bring forth a new creature, the first gargoyle. They are a combination of Saint Romanus' actions merged with the prayers of protection from those within. This spell formula allows it to sense evil creatures and spirits. Now, they have a variety of appearances, ranging from chimeras, dragons, and some on the demonic side, to more modern ones straight from movies. Yes, there is a range on their looks, but a few consistencies on the abilities. First up, they are strong, resistant to many spells, the ability to fly. Yet their wings are far too small to make it possible. After all, they are made of stone. Here there is some disagreement. Some sources say that they are made of stone, but others that they are stone that turns to flesh, and then back. Most vexing this is. So, what can we figure here? I think we are dealing with a creature that is brought to life by the dragon's spell and divine provocation. Yes, they are stone, but stone that has been reshaped be of a draconic outline. Their muscles should be more akin to. That'll offer them strength that is spoken of. As for the form changes, that may be simple. They are stone-like as they sleep, and some may stay dormant for years. They can absorb divine energy from their home in the churches, thus their food supply, and an explanation as to our discrepancies. Differences in forms comes from the amount of holy energy they possess. They'll most likely sleep in the day when foul spirits are less active, and the radiant light of the sun is strongest. Yet, we have a problem of how do their numbers increase. How many gargoyles do you find on one church? A dozen? 2? Those won't last long, and will need to be replaced with time. I believe that they can share a portion of their stored energy to bring new stone statues to life, to bolster their ranks, and allow them to spread out. This will leave them temporarily weaker, and will send them into a long hibernation, but they'll return in a few years. So, would this count as a silicon-based lifeform? The most common types of statues are granite, alabaster, limestone, and marble. Well, marble is made from mostly calcium carbonate with some silica, magnesium carbonate, iron oxide, and aluminum oxide, while granite is about 70% silica with some aluminum, potassium oxide, iron, and magnesium. Limestone is mostly calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, and others. Alabaster is calcium sulfate, dehydrate, or gypsum. So, if gargoyles are made of granite, then yes. But if not, no. But what were medieval churches made from? Oh, gray granite with some being limestone. Okay, but this is a problem. They can fly. Now, I'm betting everyone here knows this, but rocks are heavy. I touched on this on one of my earliest videos on griffins, but I'll go over it here again. The largest flying animal in the fossil record was Quetzalcoatl, a species of pterosaur that is estimated to weigh up to 500 pounds, and the largest wingspans are 80 feet. So, does anyone see our problem? How much does a stone statue weigh? 500 pounds? 1,000? More? Granite weighs 165 pounds per cubic foot. How big is this statue? It doesn't take long for them to get into thousands of pounds. Yeah, the wingspans are quickly passing into the hundreds of feet in length. That isn't going to work here. It'll never be able to fly in a city, and forget about moving with those things. No, gargoyles can't fly by normal means. So what do we do? Do they glide? Possibly, but there is a solution. Dragon blood. That is going to have to be our solution. That, or flying on a prayer. So, the magical blood left over from the dragon will be needed for flight, a final spell. Wings will still be needed for maneuvering though. They'll use their arms and legs to walk and climb up walls. In some ventures, you may find a variant of gargoyle that has been turned to the dark arts. How? There are 2 options, I think. The first option is the holy ground upon which it roosts has been corrupted, and with it, eventually, our gargoyle. This will take time, and a powerful source to achieve. The second option is a false gargoyle, one that uses dragon's blood on already unholy ground, and uses despair and sorrow in place of prayers to create the founding spell. This will require someone performing such a feat. Unless you are an evil spirit or creature of darkness, you probably won't land in battle against a gargoyle. Well, what if you find a corrupted one? First up, it's tough. Its skin won't be pierced by swords, spears, or arrows. If you need a weapon, get something really heavy. Your splitting stone. Find a big hammer and take a swing. It'll be easier if you can make the impact go through a narrow chisel-like point. That'll be hard to pull off in combat, especially with the gargoyle's speed and power. Those arms of it are heavy. They'll feel like a sledgehammer on impact, so don't get hit. Gamison and chainmail won't help here. If you have armor, bring heavy plate. It will reduce some of the impact, but you'll still feel the blow. At worst, you may get to test your armor's aerodynamics. Ideally, get a shield. You may get a broken arm, but I'll take a broken arm over a busted skull, wouldn't you? What about magic? Unfortunately, most don't work too well. They'll resist most fire, lightning, and cold spells. They can weather centuries without issue. You really think these fields of magic will do much? A smart option is to use telekinesis. Use it to pick up some large rocks and sledgehammers and take swings while you're staying out of range. This will be your best option. While resistant to most magic, quickly alternating between extreme heat and cold does have the chance to crack and break stone, but hard to pull off, and it is time consuming. Stealth magic is questionable. Gargoyles can sense evil even while hiding, and may pick you up as well. Now, there is an option I haven't spoken of yet. Could the unholy magic corrupt the gargoyle and destroy it? Sadly no. The holy magic inside protects it from most of the dark arts. At best, you'll get a reduced impact. But perhaps you can dispel the magic within the gargoyle's body, and that could render it inert, but it'll be difficult. And there is one final thing I haven't touched on. They fly. They can get height on you, easily pull you out of their reach. Yet, while up there, they can strike back. They can grab a nice rock and drop it. I don't care what kind of armor you have on, a rock falling from 100 feet in the sky, it can kill you. Take cover, get the fight indoors where it can't make use of the air, but that will have a high chance of putting you in range of its sharp claws. The gargoyle is a dangerous foe, well worth its 5 of 10 difficulty. Between a solid body, magical resistances, it pins you down into a few fighting options. Brute force is just about your only option. You'll struggle to find a place where it is not dangerous. Yet, you probably won't be facing the gargoyle, and that is what holds them back. Gargoyles protect. They shield those confronted by evil. Thus are happy to join the battle when the time comes. Offer up your prayers and they can come. They can be powerful frontline fighters and tank for your party. They can soak up most spells and just about any physical attack. Yes, you'll want this creature to fight with you. Sure, they rarely venture far from their roost, which will limit how far it will go with you. Still, something like that would be valuable in battle. Just imagine walking into battle with a gargoyle at your side, or above scouting for you. Their magical sensing ability can alert you to foes in the next room, or around the corner. Yes, perfect. Due to their magical resistances, you can be a little more relaxed with your use of area effect spells. Fireballs or cones of cold, anyone? You could also leave them behind to guard the village while you invade the Dark Lord's fortress. Sounds like a good plan. That'll let you head out on your ventures while the village is safe. The stone flakes from a gargoyle have been used in potent regenerative and healing potions. One's of stone flesh, and petrification poisons. Just be careful when using them. Now, if a gargoyle is destroyed, can it be repaired and brought back to life? If you have dragon's blood and return the pieces to holy ground, you might be able to succeed in doing this. Definitely a difficult task, but one that could pay off. The monster advanced on the gargoyles. Its claws came crashing down into the stony skin. Nothing. It took the blows with ease. Swinging its solid arm, it connected. The possessed monster stepped back in pain. It howled as another gargoyle landed on its back. The horror struggled against the second gargoyle's weight as it was pulled to the ground. Just then, the party of adventurers arrived. Seeing the battle at hand, they spread out to join in. First came spells. Fire rained down on the combatants, but the gargoyles ignored the flames. The rangers released an arrow, but he mistimed the shot and struck his solid ally, who didn't even notice. While the statues restrained their foe, the paladin came rushing in with his silver blade and severed the monster's head. The villagers in the church applauded. So did the audience as the bard gave a bow as he finished his recounting of the sorrows of Captain Locke. Quietly, he left the stage to refresh his throat with a drink before his next sonnet. While strumming his lute, he thought back to the night in the church and the horror on the adventurers' face as they recognized the monster that they had encountered on that fateful night. Alto fiddled with his lute as he recalled the events with sorrow. Oh, how he wished he could have learned the full story of the poor lost sailor. Hopefully, his soul was free to rest. Maybe it found its way back to sea, or to Fiddler's Green. The gargoyle is a beneficial creature usually, but in rare events it can turn to darkness. Their physical might, endurance, and resistances make them difficult foe to face. Thank you for watching, adventurers, and thank you for your support over this past year, and for traveling with our friend Captain Locke. It has been a pleasure to do this. Thank you for your support and advice that you have given me. I appreciate it all as I grow and improve my work. Please return next year as we begin a new journey alongside Alto the Bard. Together we'll explore the races of giants and Lamia, encounter creatures rooted in wisdom and intellect. But first, we need to learn to play. Maybe the full scrim can help us. Until then, I'll see you on the road in the new year.